Hello, Red Devil Brony here, and welcome to episode 2 of my new series, Red Devil Brony's Untitled Advert Review Show. Yes, I still haven't thought of a good name yet, sorry. Anyway, after the holy shit! Um, I don't know what to say about that. Thanks everyone. Anyway, in today's episode, we're going to be looking at something very different compared to the first episode. Now I have to warn you, some of these adverts you'll see next are pretty dark, so here's a heads up. Today, we'll be looking at DOE adverts. Now, what are DOE adverts? They're basically Irish road safety adverts, and some of them are a bit, well, you'll see soon. But believe me, some of them are quite disturbing. I mean really disturbing. Not like, I'm talking about real disturbing. What I mean by that? Well, keep watching and find out. The DOE stands for Department of Environment and is responsible for all topics involving the environment all across Ireland. But today, like I said earlier, we'll be looking at their road safety adverts. They're quite, well, if I could describe these adverts in one way, I'd call them mini horror movies, because some of them are downright horrifying. Unlike my previous episode, where I looked at one advert and a few mini ones, today I'm looking at a whole bunch of adverts. Now sit back and enjoy this roller coaster of madness that is the Irish road safety adverts. You have been warned. The DOE's road safety adverts were first exposed to the public primarily in the 90s. This is when they started to make their name. And what I mean by make their name has become absolutely psychotic. But they weren't always very dark. They gradually started off pretty tame, a little depressing, yes, but they spiraled into absolute insanity. As the episode goes on, you'll see how dark these adverts can become. And believe me, unless you're Irish yourself, you will be shocked by these later adverts. Believe me, that's a promise. Now, this right here is one of DOE's very first adverts. It's from 1995, the year I was born, and it's called Flowers. If I could describe this advert, I would say it's beautiful. It starts off with a woman dressed in all black, looking very sad. We don't know why she's so sad, but as the advert goes on, we know why. It then cuts to a flashback, which shows her and her husband in happier times. It shows them getting married, buying a house, having a child. Everything seems so fine and dandy. Isn't that nice?
Nice.
Until...
No, God!
As the advert goes on, we notice that the husband is a drinker, and most of yous have probably guessed what's gonna happen. His friends do try to warn him, but he says it's only one, he'll be fine. Take a guess what happens. On his way home, he buys some flowers for his wife. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that sweet? Isn't this just a beautiful advert? It's just fantastic. Nothing bad could possibly happen.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Okay, apart from that, as most of you can probably guess, that one little drink caused him to lose his concentration and eventually crash his car. And we find out why this woman was so sad. She was attending her husband's funeral, along with her daughter. It tells a great story and says a great message. It doesn't go balls to the wall with completely dark imagery, like some of the future adverts you'll see, but it tells a beautiful story in a beautiful way. It's a masterpiece in my opinion. And while the future ads are good, I do kinda miss these ones. While the future adverts go for shock factor, this one just tries to tell a story to pull at your heartstrings and make you feel. And you know what? It does that perfectly. This advert shows that one small drink might not just only ruin your life, but other people's lives as well.
Never ever drink and drive.
In the very same year, the DOE released another advert, this one called Thoughts, and this one is very similar to how the DOE makes their adverts these days, mostly for shock value, but they're still very good at getting the message across. Let's begin, shall we? This advert starts off with a girl walking into a passenger seat of a car, and the car is a man. Judging by the fact that they kiss, it's safe to assume that they are a couple. As the advert goes on, the boyfriend decides to start driving more erratically, and quite frankly, more dangerously.
I'm a shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity.
And much like the first advert, you can pretty much guess what's going to happen. As the advert goes on, and the boyfriend's driving becomes even more dangerous, the girlfriend starts, obviously, to get more and more concerned. Another nice touch I really like in this advert is the fact that the music is constantly changing to fit the mood. At the start, it's all happy and sweet.
I can see clearly now the rain has gone.
But as it goes on, the songs that play aren't so cheerful anymore, and in fact, some of the songs are foreshadowing what's about to happen. I especially like the final song they use in this advert. I think it's a very nice touch.
I'm on a highway to hell. I'm on a highway to hell.
It shouldn't surprise you what happens next. Haven't guessed yet? Well, let's watch and find out. No. Sorry. Can we see that again? I'm sorry, I know this is a serious advert, and it's supposed to show the dangers of driving erratically. But still, what was that? That was hilarious. I mean, just look. That girl's expression is just priceless. I mean, just look at that face. That is the face of someone who doesn't give a flying fuck that she's about to be hit by a car. Look at her. She's a total badass. She's about to die and she's like, I've lived a full life. And of course, the real highlight of this advert is of course that scene. I mean, did anyone watch this back and honestly don't laugh their face off? Or am I just a sick, twisted person? Yeah, probably. And of course, the stock horror scream is just... If it was any other kind of scream, it would have been better, but if I could use that cheesy, overused as in like every horror film ever made, it's hilarious. And of course, the real funny part of the advert, I mean, just look at that face. I mean, what does that even mean? Is it terror? Is it sheer joy? Does she finally realise she's about to die? Yeah, I know, it's supposed to be a serious advert, I get that, but I'm sorry, but that 5 seconds is some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Hey, I'm called Red Devil Brony for a reason. Anyway, I bet the rest of this advert is just as funny.
It must have been love, but it's over now. It must have been good, but I lost it somehow.
Oh, that wasn't funny, that was actually pretty shocking and very serious. I feel kinda bad laughing at the other scene now. I love how the tagline at the end starts.
Wise up.
It's the most Irish thing I've ever heard in my life.
Slow down. Expect the unexpected.
No, did you think that was very dark? Do you think it couldn't get darker than that? Well, I'm sorry to say, it gets much worse. If you want to leave now, I wouldn't blame you. Who knows? Maybe these next adverts will help us gain a better understanding of road safety. Or maybe they'll mentally break us. One or the other. Anyway, shall we move on? After those two cinematic masterpieces, the DOE tweeted us to another advert 4 years later, in 1999. This one was simply titled Thump.
That's why they call me Thumper.
No, Thump, not Thumper. And I'm pretty sure this advert is not as cute and cuddly as he is. Let's watch, shall we? Alright, people in the car having a good time listening to music. This seems fun and nice. I'm sure absolutely nothing will go wrong for these people. Everything's going to be just fine. Oh come on, you've seen 2 of these adverts already. You know exactly what's going to happen.
To cope with the unexpected.
Yep. I mean, oh no, that's bad. Wait, what was that?
Young men think they're great drivers. Therefore, drive too fast to cope with the unexpected.
Hey, if I get into a car and accidentally kill people, it's not because I'm a man. It's because I'm stupid and I don't know how to drive a car. I do have Mario Kart experience, if that counts. Does it? Anyway, as you can tell, the last advert was pretty brutal, but this one, quite frankly, might be nightmare fuel. First, he avoids the tractor, but unfortunately a truck is coming head on. And unfortunately for him and the rest of his friends, he sadly couldn't get out of the way in time. And the injuries are pretty brutal and quite frankly disturbing. I'm not gonna lie, I may have given you people some nightmares tonight. Sorry about that. I also really like the ending to this advert. It's very open-ended and you're not really sure what's wrong with the guy. Yes, we know he's in a wheelchair, most likely paralysed, but what happened to the rest of his friends? Are they still alive? Or have they stopped talking to him? A high possibility, yes. Yes, it's really short. but gets a great message across and warns us just because you avoid one car doesn't mean there isn't going to be another car behind that. And of course, never speed while driving, even if you're not drunk. Like we see in this advert and the previous one, it can cause serious consequences. Who knows if this guy will ever walk again? Judging by his expression, I don't think he ever will.
Slow down, boys.
And that is part 1 of the DOE Irish adverts. You think these were bad? Well, join us for part 2 soon. Believe me, there's some really bad ones coming up. I originally only planned to do one of these adverts, and don't worry, you'll see that one I really want to do in part 2. Believe me, it's quite infamous, and basically every person in Ireland has probably seen it at one point or time. So anyway, have a great day, and of course, drive safe.